Sing along if you know it.
I just got back from seeing 100 gecs at 9:30 Club in DC. This show was sold out and it was raining really hard that day, so my friend and I just planned to meet at the venue after doors. That way we wouldn't have to wait outside for very long, and we were okay with not being super close to the front because 9:30 Club isn't a huge place anyway. Now the ticket said 10 o'clock, but I didn't look very closely at it and just assumed that was the time the show started. As it turns out, doors were at 10, so we still ended up waiting outside for a really long time. I was wondering why the line was so short when we got there. We got inside just after 10 and waited for another 45 minutes or so for the opener to go on. This is all completely my fault, by the way. If I had looked anywhere online, then I would have seen that the show started at 10, so lesson learned, I guess. You'd think I'd know by now. Anyway, the opener was Alice Gass, a current EDM artist who did a pretty good job of hyping up the crowd. She also mixed some 100 gecs samples into her set, which got everyone kind of hyped up for the show, sort of like a sneak peek kind of thing. And she just kind of did her own thing up there and played straight through her set, which was kind of nice. I don't really like when openers expect a lot from the crowd in terms of participation, and she certainly didn't. But it was a party atmosphere and everyone was pretty warmed up by the time 100 gecs went on. And speaking of, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from them. There's only so much you can do when most of your music is electronic. If it wasn't obvious, I don't go to very many shows where electronic music is the primary focus, and maybe it was because my expectations were low, but 100 gecs threw down. They came out around 11:45 in their signature cloaks to Hey Big Man, which I think they've been opening with a lot recently, and I don't blame them. It's actually a great track to open up a live performance. From there, the set was pretty clean and polished. They pulled out all the hits like Money Machine, Stupid Horse, Ringtone, all of it, even What's That Smell, which is honestly such a jam. They also played two new songs that they've been teasing a lot. The first one was Hollywood Baby, which is kind of slow and heavy, and it has this catchy, distorted guitar riff that repeats throughout the song. They played that one toward the middle of their set, and then near the end they play the other one, Me, 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 which is similarly catchy and repetitive, but a lot faster. Characteristic of these new tracks, and most of the songs on their album, they have a recipe. I've been saying that most 100 gecs songs are like potato chips. They've got the perfect balance of salt and fat to get you hooked after one and never quite being satisfied as you consume more. Each song makes you want another one with the same addictive recipe as the one before it. And that brings me to my next point about the music of 100 gecs, and that's that it's polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. Now, people who claim to hate it also say things like it isn't music, it's all just a meme, but I think that they just haven't heard enough of it. Like most music, songs by 100 gecs actually take time, effort, and thought to create. Music is an art form, and 100 gecs is no exception to that. We often tend to initially dislike anything that's different from what we know until we give it a chance. But something tells me that Dylan and Laura honestly couldn't care less if you don't give their music a chance. And that's part of what makes it so great. The final reason why this was a good show is that people were there to have fun. The crowd dynamic was great. People were filming on Nintendo DS's and flip phones. They helped each other out when the mosh pit got too rowdy. People lost shoes and glasses, but someone was always there to make sure they got returned to their owners. There also weren't any pretentious dicks there talking about how they discovered the artist before it was cool to like them, or 50-year-old men pushing kids out of the way to get to the front. I've been to other shows with pleasant crowd dynamics, but just nothing special in a while, so this was nice. Actually, I did overhear a bunch of people bragging about their knowledge of car seat headrest, but other than that, there was zero hostility. Pretty much everyone was just there to party in their Halloween costumes with their friends, and that was awesome. And that's all I got. If you like my content, please subscribe. If you don't like my content, please subscribe. No one has to know. I've got some interviews coming up soon, so look out for those, but that's it. Thanks.